There are moments in football that change everything. Not because of a trophy, not because of a record, but because millions of people watching around the world suddenly realize they're witnessing history. For nearly 70 minutes, Argentina looked finished. Lionel Messi had already missed a penalty. Egypt had shocked everyone by taking control of the game. The World Cup dream that millions believed in was slowly slipping away. Every minute felt heavier. Every attack ended in frustration. Every missed chance pushed Argentina closer to elimination. Then, something happened. Something that completely changed the direction of the match. Some fans believe it was a tactical adjustment. Others point to one controversial moment, whatever the reason. What happened next became one of the most unbelievable comebacks of the tournament. Because in football, a match isn't over when the scoreboard says so. It's over when a team stops believing. And Argentina never did. To understand how this incredible comeback happened, we have to go back to the very beginning. Because Egypt arrived with a plan, and for more than an hour, that plan worked perfectly. From the opening whistle, Egypt looked fearless. Most teams facing Lionel Messi choose to defend deep. They wait, they hope, and they survive for as long as possible. Egypt chose a different approach. They pressed high, they challenged every ball. Most importantly, they refused to give Messi time. Every time he touched the ball, someone was already there. Sometimes 2 defenders, sometimes even 3. Argentina still enjoyed most of the possession, but possession didn't create danger. The ball moved from side to side, yet Egypt remained organized, patient, disciplined. Every attack ended the same way. A blocked pass, a clearance, or another interception. As the minutes passed, Argentina became slower. The confidence that usually defined them slowly disappeared. Then came the breakthrough. Egypt attacked quickly. Argentina hesitated for just a moment. That was enough. The ball found the back of the net, suddenly. The impossible became reality. Egypt had taken the lead. The stadium fell silent. Argentina weren't just losing. They were losing control. For the first time in the match, pressure began to take over. Every pass mattered. Every mistake became bigger. But despite everything, Argentina still had one advantage: Lionel Messi. Because one moment of brilliance can change an entire football match, and just a few minutes later, that opportunity finally arrived. The referee pointed to the penalty spot. It was the chance every Argentine fan had been waiting for. One kick, one goal, one moment to bring the game back to life. The entire stadium held its breath. Nobody imagined that this single kick would become one of the biggest turning points of the night. The referee blew the whistle. Lionel Messi stepped forward. For a player who had scored countless penalties throughout his career, this looked routine. The stadium waited. Millions watching around the world expected only one outcome: a goal. But football has never followed the script. Messi struck the ball, and somehow it didn't end in celebration. He had missed. For a brief second, everything stood still. Then the Egyptian supporters erupted. That moment wasn't just a missed penalty, it was a psychological victory. Egypt believed they could actually eliminate one of the tournament favorites. Argentina suddenly looked nervous. The passes became rushed. The movement slowed down. Even the simplest decisions became difficult. When the second half began, nothing had changed. Egypt continued to defend with incredible discipline. Every tackle was perfectly timed. Every counterattack looked dangerous. Then came another devastating blow. Egypt scored again, 2 goals ahead against Argentina. The cameras immediately turned toward Messi. He said nothing, but he didn't need to. The scoreboard said everything. Around the world, people started asking the same question. Was this the end of Argentina's World Cup, just when it looked impossible to recover? Another dramatic moment arrived. Egypt thought they had scored a 3rd goal. Players celebrated. The bench exploded with joy. The stadium shook. Then, the referee raised a finger to his earpiece. VAR. Everything stopped. Every player waited. Every fan held their breath. Seconds later, the decision came. No goal. Egypt still led. But something had changed. Not on the scoreboard. Inside the minds of both teams. Argentina had been given one last chance, and this time, they weren't going to waste it. The clock kept ticking. Less than 15 minutes remained. Argentina needed a miracle. Instead of panicking, they attacked with purpose. The ball moved quicker. Fresh legs added energy. Egypt, who had looked so comfortable all night, began defending deeper and deeper. Wave after wave of pressure followed. Then finally, the breakthrough arrived. Argentina scored. The stadium exploded. The score still favored Egypt, but the feeling had completely changed. Argentina believed. Egypt hesitated. There was no time to celebrate. The players grabbed the ball and ran back to the center circle. They wanted another goal. Only a few minutes later, it came. Another attack, another finish, another eruption inside the stadium. The match was level. Just minutes earlier, Argentina had been staring at elimination. Now, everything felt possible. Egypt tried to slow the game down, but momentum had completely shifted. Every clearance came straight back. Every Argentine attack carried danger. Then came stoppage time. One final opportunity, one final attack, a quick pass, a perfectly timed run, one decisive finish. Goal. Argentina had completed the impossible. Players collapsed onto the pitch. The bench emptied. The crowd celebrated like they had just won the World Cup. In little more than 10 unforgettable minutes, Argentina had turned complete despair into one of the greatest comebacks of the tournament. Years from now, most people will remember the score, they'll remember Argentina's incredible comeback, they'll remember the late goals, but the real story goes much deeper because this match wasn't won in the final minutes, it was won the moment Argentina refused to give up. Yes, Messi missed a penalty. Yes, Egypt executed their game plan almost perfectly. And yes, for more than an hour, it looked like one of the biggest upsets in FIFA World Cup history. But football is a game of momentum. Sometimes, one small moment can completely change the direction of a match. Many fans believe the VAR review became that moment, not because it changed the score, but because it changed the mindset of both teams. Egypt suddenly became cautious. Argentina suddenly believed. From that point on, every tackle, every pass, every attack carried a different energy. That's something statistics can never fully explain. Football isn't only played with your feet, it's played with your mind, and once Argentina believed they could come back, everything changed. This is why the FIFA World Cup remains the greatest tournament in football. Not because the strongest team always wins, but because one moment, one decision, or one spark of belief can rewrite history for nearly 70 minutes. Argentina looked finished. Lionel Messi looked like a captain about to suffer another heartbreaking night. Then, the story changed, not with one goal, but with belief. That's why this wasn't just another comeback. It was a reminder that football never follows the script. And maybe, that's the hidden FIFA World Cup shock nobody saw coming. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more football documentaries, legendary matches, and the untold stories behind the biggest moments in football history. Because sometimes, the greatest story isn't the final score. It's everything that happened before it.